Hi guys, welcome to podcast by SmartUp. Today we have Mr. Nikhil Gunda here. He's a serial entrepreneur and his first startup was Digidine, which was acquired by Zomato. And now he has ventured into EV sector with his startup GHMEV, which is Gearhead Motors EV. This is a technology startup which is currently selling e-bicycles and he's planning to venture into EV technology solutions. Let's get to know his experience with our podcast today. Hello, Nikhil. So we'll start with the podcast now.
Okay.
The first question that we have for us is tell us a little bit about your startup and how did you come up with the idea?
Okay. Yeah. To be honest, more than coming up with an idea. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, Manoj, I can use profanity, right? Or is that restricted for this?
Let's keep it restricted. We had to sort to the professor. So.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. So, yeah. So coming back to the question, but even before it is more like an idea. It was more like there is no other way for me to actually succeed in my life when I joined engineering, except for ending up in a call center. All I can imagine after my college is being stuck in a BPO where I say, "Hi, my name is Nikhil, and how can I help you?" So that's something that has never been okay with me, and I was more of a person who would definitely want to do something in life, and especially when I took engineering by passion, I wanted to do something. But yeah, I ended up starting something in the food line. So I started with a coffee shop in my college, and then I sold that to my college, and I ended up having a startup out of it, where we give this QR code based ordering systems that you see in today's restaurant. Was sold to Zomato in 2018 end or 2019 start, the same software. So from there, but the passion of mechanical engineering never died. But I did get some money to start something in the electric vehicle industry. And when we went to Ludhiana for a tech fest, we've seen how huge electric vehicle market is in those areas, and we wanted to start something in South India, and that's how the entire concept of Gearhead Motors took shape.
Okay. So what's the okay, just a minute. So how did you set it up? Like take us through the journey.
Okay. So when me and my so when the first startup was sold, and I was not kind of all happy about it, but I had no other thing, no other chance actually out of it. But my current co-founder, actually, he's my senior in my college. He came up to me and says that let's do this big, right? And we wanted some money, and we pulled it from the earlier sale out, and um, still, I come from a very middle class family, and my dad still believes that I could have done better in my job than what I'm doing today. So such an orthodox family wouldn't support financially, but the major problem is to set it up where we pulled in some of the money from our pockets, and slowly and steadily we've started converting into sales. So with the first conversion, what we have done, uh, we imagined that we will become something in the lines of Hero or Tata, but we didn't have such pockets to start with. So what we have done is basically we've converted an existing vehicle into electric, and somebody who has problems with petrol and diesel and service, we started converting those into electric, and making some money, in reinvesting the same money into this company again, and reinvesting like that, like 15-20 times a month, has made us some lump sum money for us to start a manufacturing unit. So we started with our tricycle manufacturing, and from there we've moved on to bicycles, from there, we now doing technology for electric scooters and cars.
Okay, so just to get an idea of the scale in which you're operating,
Yeah.
and if you're willing to speak and tell that out loud, what's the kind of revenue that you guys are having right now?
So last financial year, we've closed 6.8 crore in revenue. And
Okay,
if you include technology part of it, somewhere around 7 crores. So we've done oddly $1 million in revenue. And we're projecting somewhere around $3 million this financial year.
interesting. So I think you mentioned like a couple of challenges regarding the initial investment, but what other challenges did you face while establishing it? Especially like because I don't think you guys had the manufacturing unit as well.
Yeah, yeah. The prime challenge is motivation, dude. Firstly, we were in college yet, and second is घर जाने के बाद the first reminder you get, how is your engineering going? Sadly, they don't know what engineering we've been learning in college, other than time passing around sutta bars and chilling around with friends, bunking college. All of this they don't know, right? So because engineering is as such as a community is something that you wouldn't learn much in the class than you learn outside, right? So convincing parents was a big challenge for us, telling them that engineering से कुछ घंटा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा और हम तो कॉल सेंटर में एंड अप होने वाले हैं. So उसको कन्विंस करना is something that has been a big challenge, but eventually they've learned after our feature in some newspapers and TV articles and stuff. But the other challenges were humongously because of finding a right team. Yeah. When you're a startup, you would easily trust somebody who aligns with your vision. And then the team is something is really hard to assemble with. So we had in the first 3 months of our company registration, we had 15 members come in and go, and 6 directors come in and go in the first 6 months of the company. So that's been a huge challenge to get out of that vicious cycle of finding a right team member, then getting disappointed, finding a right team member, then getting disappointed. It's been a huge learning curve for us in that direction. So rest and everything, I don't call money as a challenge, because you can always find ways to actually get money or be operationally survivable. Rest everything company dekh lega bhai. So I think it's better, if you ask me to what would my focus would be more on the challenges like team building and getting the right motivation around it. You have to surround with people who actually believes in your vision. That's been a really huge challenge for us to get out of that stigma or stereotype mindset.
Interesting. Uh, so the initial investment that you had, did you get all of it from your own person? Was it all a personal investment, or did you also approach bank? Like, what was the approach to get the investments? And do you guys have any investor right now? So if you can
Okay.
give us some idea about that.
Yeah, 2018 and is when we've registered this company. I think till 2020 March, 2020 Jan, we've been bootstrapping. We've been getting money from our pockets, investing in the company, whatever company generates, reinvesting it, like that. It is not technically a company. It's basically a bunch of 4 engineers trying to do something really innovative in the lines of electric vehicles. So whatever we've been doing and sitting in garages, getting these things done and all of that has been our cycle, because we were still in college. 2019 is when I passed out, and 2020 is when we've raised our small round, but we've gave them an exit in 2021 Jan. And from there again we fall down to bootstrapping again. Again, see, that was a challenge, right? We having a pseudo investor and actual investor is way different. Finding out such thing also has been a challenge for us. Somebody who said he believes in the vision and back out in middle is something that been really hit for us in the startup. But yeah, we've learned to understand people better. And by 2021 March, I think we've been doing pretty well for us. And 21 March to 22 March, we've done that revenue. And yeah, we are now in between a fundraise and something really huge that I can't disclose right now. But yeah, something in the lines of really good numbers is coming up in next few weeks.
We're all looking forward for that though. Yeah. So I think because this is an EV market, so and the government is quite, helping the EV sector right now. So were there any economic or regulatory challenges or any support that you got from the government or, like everything else around it?
Yeah, the policies has been aggressive, but I don't know about the implementations of the same. To be honest, with our company though, we haven't seen. Especially, we fall into a category called type exempt, where we don't need any registration or anything to sell our bicycles.
Okay.
So, government, except for Delhi government, I don't think there is a subsidy on electric bicycles as such in the entire India. But the push has been very active. I think it is very evident with the events being conducted and stuff. But technically, there is no support. But on an overall industry standpoint, there is some push from the government, both state and central.
So how did you get your initial customers? Did you have to, go around asking people?
Oh yeah, that's it's been okay. I think building something is far easier than selling it. Again a learning curve. We've done this where we fall into this forever R&D mode and never come out of it. And it's been really tough. What we used to do. So whenever we used to assemble our bicycles in the public, and we used to wait for that labor to get his job done. Instead, we used to go on roads and ask them to try our bikes, and that's where from our randomly getting to the people and ask them to try our bikes. So that's something that we have learned really well. That this is an experiential product. The moment people experience it, they would love to buy something like this. So our initial customers were more of people who we literally forced them to ride our bikes and ask them how they feel, and accordingly we've developed. And then we've done some business to government deals, and it went really well.
So right now, which locations do you cater to? Is it just the south of India, or are you also going,
we pan India as on date. We've supplied tricycles to Kashmir, to Assam, you name it. Bicycles, we are yet too early for this, but we're going there. But we are currently pan India.
Oh, nice. What are your future growth plans for your startup now? Talked about some heavy investments, and how are you planning to use that apart from the manufacturing unit that you mentioned?
Yeah, I think our core focus would be in brand awareness and how cool is to own an e-bike, right? And the biggest challenge that we have right now with the current product is people don't know how more of a use cases an e-bike has than just a bicycle. I think we'll be focusing on that per se, and we will be more focused on our cost optimization and getting into tier 2, tier 3 parts of the city. So I think that is going to be an expensive toll, but yeah, we are ready to take it in that direction.
So Nikhil, are you trying to be only in the e-bicycle segment? Are you trying to move to e-bikes or any other technology, or just e-bikes for now?
Yeah, I see how we position ourselves is as a technology company, but to be a technology company in the field of where Tata's and Hero and Maruti and Mahindra exist, we should be having some credibility. I think for that we're building this platform like e-bikes and tricycles and other light commercial vehicles, is to give us a platform where we can establish ourselves. And the future is for the companies to be a technology company, and we will grow in that direction only. So for now it is e-bikes, but the future is technology.
So Nikhil, hi, Shal here. I had a question. So when we talked to people as to what they wanted to know about startups, so since you also mentioned you were into bootstrapping, then you went into funded, then you are again into bootstrapping, and then something is there probably in the future. What difference do you see in respect to bootstrapping or funding, and when should it means if someone is looking to start up, when should they consider bootstrapping, or when should they consider taking the VC's money? What are the factors?
So okay, so I think unlike a popular opinion, I would definitely say some companies need money right away, but almost 90% of the startups don't. So bootstrapping is something that will enable you to understand your unit economics. Bootstrapping is not fancy. Bootstrapping is not easy, but doing it will make you feel credible for an investor that bhai, agar mera paisa bhi nahi hai, this guy can actually do something. So bootstrapping is very much important for any other company, any company or any startup that is coming up, at least for 6 to 7 months, where you can prove your entire sales cycle, and you'll be completed with 2 quarters. So you'll have a really good understanding with your unit economics, where your money is going and where is your money burning. So when investors come and ask you that what is your fund utilization plan, you will have a very, very clear idea if you bootstrapped. So for at least 6 months to 1 year, I think any startup should bootstrap, given the conditions. They can support their idea in that direction, or else they can definitely approach for a bank loan or a mudra loan or something like that sort. So more than timeline, I would say finishing a sales cycle is something more relevant in this context. So any startup should complete at least one entire sales cycle before they raise funding. So I think until then you can bootstrap.
Okay, and I mean, especially when students are in college or they are, let's say, doing 12th or undergrad, there is a very popular narrative that goes on that drop out of college, do a startup, do your startup. So, how much would you say that should students really drop out of college, or should they, if they want to, should they pursue it along with their studies?
Okay. I genuinely don't think dropping out is necessary, because first of all, we don't actually go to college properly. So when you're getting that degree for free, I think anyone should take it. Why other people drop out in US and UK, that's the narrative we picked up it from Western, is because they're actually serious about their studies. If there is a research been happening, the engineers there are far more efficient than engineers we have here in India. Their 9 to 5 is almost 10 times of 10 to 10 in India. So I think in that context, when people do engineering or any other degree per se, we are getting that degree for almost for zero efforts, dude, except for the labor line where you put records, writing, assignment fulfillment. Except for that, there is nothing real effort has been put into that degree, most of the cases. So I think dropping out is something foolish to do, because You're not literally putting efforts towards your degree. But I would say there are some now government actually pushed this narrative of having a break in the college, right? At least in Telangana, they have initiated this. I don't know how Bombay and other parts of the country are working, but if I'm studying engineering and I can take a break of 2 years, do my startup, come back again to do the other 2 years and take my degree. So something like that also will help, but not necessary, I would say.
Got it.
So Nikhil, how has the grind been? Like, you have been entrepreneur for like 3 odd years now. You have probably been
Yeah.
doing a lot of PPTs. So how has the journey been? Like, is it like, I don't know, what does your average day look like? Is it busy? Do you have some off days? Or are you like one of the person from the memes? I was once working 9 to 5, now I've become a startup owner. I work 24 hours a day, that type.
uh, the most important part of being an entrepreneur is just love what you do. No, see, if I'm not getting paid of what I'm doing right now, I'll be okay with it. So if that is the case, I think the grind feels much easier. If money is not your motivation of what you're doing, um, obviously money will come, but it should come. But if given a chance, you should work for it for free. That's something, because you literally enjoy what you've been doing. So on a daily basis, I feel mentally tired with challenges and issues and all of that as a business owner. But I am 10,000% sure that it is way better than an average 9 to 5 job. Grind, when it comes to grind, it has actually been fun. If I look at from now, if you ask me like 2 years back, I would say, please, मेरे को हटा दो भाई इसमें से, मेरे को घर जाना है. But if you ask me now, I think it is worth of every inch of sweat we've drawn. But it's fun, dude. I think it's really, really fun of whatever we've done so far and whatever we're gonna do. We're nowhere close. We're nowhere close of what we are actually aspiring to be, but it's been fun. I don't hold any regrets. But yeah, it's not easy. Again, it is freaking. You should rub your ass to the ground. You should be on the ground. It is never as fancy as it sounds. CEO and director is only restricted to visiting cards. When you're on the ground, you're as good as a ground level employee. So I think by default, entrepreneurs are very brave, dude. Like, they have some really balls of steel to actually do something in this line.
Great. Ashi?
Yeah, so I think we are moving to the close of this podcast. So
Yeah.
the last question that we have is, what would be your advice or your message to the budding start and entrepreneurs over here?
Yeah. So again, my learnings are completely relevant to my journey, but something that common points I could definitely put down is having a really good market research helps for any entrepreneur before they start up their idea, or even before they register their company, print a CEO visiting card. I think a strong market research should be very, very necessary. And two is more on the lines of how a startup guy goes through his day. I think definitely almost 90% of your days are bad and 10% of your days are good. And those 10% of your days will make your 100% of your life. So if you're low, I think it's completely fine. If you're low for a week, it's completely fine. Even if you're low for 2 years, it's completely fine, because the other 2 years that's going to come going to make your entire life. So I think that's it. That's good enough gyan for anybody who's listening to this podcast. But yeah, it's been really fun, dude.
I think this brings us to the end. So thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Nikhil. Thanks a lot for taking out time. I think you were very busy also, so we really appreciate this.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ashi. Thanks a lot, Manoj, for inviting me here. It's been really, really fun. And I'm actually just thinking for a moment that, bro, how fun it was. So I'm getting all nostalgic right now of you guys asking me of my journey was. But yeah, now I'm on a more peace state, to be honest, before this podcast. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Nikhil.
Thanks, Nikhil.
Thanks a lot, guys. Chalo, I'm taking a leave. All the very best. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye
Nikhil.
bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
Good luck.
All the best.
For more such informative content and podcast on startups, stay tuned with SmartUp. Thank you.